Hello again. For those who don't know, I'm Mike. I've been using the same PC since 2014, and it was a custom PC that I built myself. It had a Core i7 5820K. It started with 16 gigs of RAM, which was later upgraded to 32, and it had a GTX 980 installed in it at first, which that card has since been given to my son to play his games. And it was replaced with actually a slower card. I bought an R9 380X because I knew that AMD cards were easier to get working in Linux, so that's what I bought. And I got it for a super good price on eBay. So now, some time has worn on, and my computer has kind of started showing its age. So I decided to upgrade the whole platform. Because when you're making videos, I mean, I know sporadic as they are. I mean, I haven't made a video in well over a month. But when I'm making videos and stuff, I want to be able to render them a little faster. And so I saved up. And let's look at the specs. Spoiler alert, I went AMD. Full AMD. So here we are in my web browser. And I figure it would be easier to show you on PCPartPicker.com. If you're looking to build yourself a new computer, I highly recommend checking out PCPartPicker.com. It has compatibility filters. There's up-to-date prices. I mean, it checks several different sites. You can sort through. You can sort by about anything, and it is a very, very good tool to use if you want to part out your own system. Highly recommend PCPartPicker.com. It is fantastic. So with my system, I decided to go with a Ryzen 9 3900X. This is a 12-core, 24-thread processor, and it was expensive. So I decided to just save up and pick one up. It was right around Black Friday, and I got it for a little less than $493. You're kind of going to see that as a trend here because I waited for sales and I got literally everything on sale. And with the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4 being the only exception, I actually spent $89 and some change on it. And this has been a fantastic little cooler. It is so quiet. And the motherboard I picked out is an Asus Pro WS X570 Ace. And before somebody fires off in the comments saying you overspent on your motherboard, you can get an X570 or B450 to work on that same chip for way less money. Trust me, I know. I bought this board for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, the quality of the components. WS boards are vetted way more than standard boards, and they're tested with way more types of add-in cards like RAID controllers, network cards, accelerator cards, PCIe storage, all kinds of stuff like that. Because in the future, I will be adding a couple of add-in cards. Actually, I've already added them. I just haven't made a video on them. Reason number 2, PCI Express lane division and splitting. I can use this board with a GPU, an M.2 SSD, a 10 gig network card, and a second M.2 SSD installed in the PCI Express slot. I did my research and I looked up a bunch of other stuff, and the other boards that were able to do this were not Asus boards. They weren't workstation boards. They were a little bit cheaper, but not much. But the reason I went with this one is now being covered in reason number 3. There are no RGB lights in this board. I do not like RGB LEDs. Call me an old fogey if you want to. I just don't care for them. So I went with this. I have been very, very pleased with it. This thing is just awesome looking, in my opinion. I mean, why would you want to put RGB in that? That thing looks awesome as it is. Now, the memory I used was a 2x16 gig kit of G.Skill Ripjaws 5 at 3600 megahertz, cast latency 16, and this RAM kit is very nice. The only bad part is I could not get the advertised speed working on my computer. It was not stable at all at 3600 speed with cache latency 16. But I was able to achieve 3200 speed with cache latency 15. Still not bad. And I bought 2 of them for a total of 64 gigs. I know I probably don't need it, but I got them on sale, and they were actually cheaper than $198.74 like we're showing here. So I wound up buying 2 of them. The only storage I bought, because I actually already had the storage and stuff for my computer. So the only SSD I bought was this Corsair MP600. And it is ridiculously fast. It makes my old M.2 look like a regular SSD. This thing is ridiculously fast. And it was not $219 when I bought it either. I bought it at $185, I believe, right around Black Friday. That's when I picked it up. So the trend continues. Now the graphics card I picked up, I bought a Sapphire. You're starting to see a pattern here. Sapphire Sapphire RX 5700 XT. It's the 8 gig card, and this thing screams in Linux. If you get brand new kernel and up to date Mesa, this thing just screams in Linux. I have been super duper pleased with it. The power supply I went with was nothing special. I wanted to make sure I got something that was going to be enough to still be very efficient even at full load, because my estimated wattage here is 494 watts. A 500 watt power supply would have sufficed, but it would have been pushing it. So I decided to go with an 850 watt, and it's 80 plus gold certified. So that way, even if I do have it pushed to the max, and everything I just listed is installed in a Fractal Design Define C with a tempered glass side panel. The build process in this thing was fantastic. I have zero complaints with this. The build process is great. The cutouts are in the right spots. There's Apple cable management slots. It's got sound deadening foam in the back. This thing is wonderful. If you don't need a bunch of 3.5 inch storage spaces. If you need that, get the Define R6. Same kind of layout, except you have lots and lots of 3.5 inch bays. So that's my computer as far as the parts go. I built it a couple of weeks ago, and I actually tweeted out some pictures while I was building it. There has been a couple of comments and whatnot saying, oh, it's got so many fans in it, they're probably super duper loud. And surprisingly, this thing is running less than 2 feet away from me, and I cannot hear it. It is super, super quiet. And tell you what, let's show a picture of it. I took this picture, and it kind of came out a little blue, so I threw it in Darktable and kind of upped the temperature a little bit, so it's not really true to life. But then again, neither was the first picture either. So this is the workstation motherboard with the Be Quiet CPU cooler. It has 3 Be Quiet fans in the front, 1 in the back, and this is my Sapphire 5700 XT. You see and I didn't show you the cable cones. I actually bought those on Amazon. Let's go back to my browser. Those were actually on Amazon. Easy DIY Fab cable sleeve extension kit. There's several different colors you can pick. I went with the black and gray because about everything else that I picked out was black or gray or something like that. And I just kind of wanted it to match. And going back and looking at it, I think this thing's just one logo away from is a logo away from being a Batman themed build. Ideas. Let me know if you think I ought to put a Batman logo right here over the Be Quiet symbol. So anyway, that's my new computer. I have been very, very pleased with it so far. And this thing runs quiet, it runs cool. I have zero complaints, and it is ridiculously fast. Thank y'all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all have a nice evening. Hi, I'm Mike, and for those who are new to the channel, I'm going to start over.